What an explosive chapter. I mean, I don't know what's better, seeing Orochimaru face to face with Kakashi or Zaku and Shino facing off against one another.
Naruto number 69, The Deadly Visitor.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and adventure-filled and one-versus-one battle-ridden tale of Naruto. Now, of course, our last chapter saw us with Sasuke just completely finishing up mopping the floor with his opponent and just completely dismantling him in every way, shape, and form. So much so that they actually just called the fight. They were just like, you know what? No more. Enough is enough. And then the chapter wound up actually ending off with Kakashi saying, hey, Sasuke, let's go. I'm going to go and take you to seal away that cursed mark now. And then we saw that the next fight was actually going to be between Zaku, one of the Sound Ninja, and Shino. And that's where the chapter left off. And that's where the chapter picks up. And boy, let me tell you, this is an explosive one that goes back and forth and just really kind of reminds me of almost like kind of like a build-up in a great like action movie, you know. It winds up starting out, and you see, of course, Zaku and Shino are going to go, you know, go one-on-one against each other. However, Zaku, if you remember, was the one that, the Sound Ninja that Sasuke, when he kind of like awoke from his being knocked unconscious in Phase 2, he broke or snapped his arms or dislocated or whatever, and basically he's all screwed up over here. So we wind up seeing Zaku and Shino kind of starting to go at it, right? And Shino's just like, you have no use of your arms, you might as well give up. And Zaku goes and actually's like, there's a little life left in this one, and he goes and tries to attack him, you know, tries to run and attack Shino. It then goes and it transfers us to whatever room that Kakashi went off and took Sasuke in, and he's drawn a number of different, I don't know if these are like different types of marks or what they are, these different symbols all up and down Sasuke's, you know, body and going out onto the floor with kunai at the end of them. So I don't know if this is, I'm sure this is some kind of spell that he's able to do where he's actually going to be able to try to seal away the cursed mark. So he winds up actually doing that, you know, and he winds up going and you know, using his powers and everything and going to seal away this cursed mark. But he explains to Sasuke that it'll only work, it's only as strong as his willpower to actually suppress. He has to believe that he can suppress it. He has to believe that this is going to work, and his own willpower is what's going to wind up keeping this intact. And I don't know how well this is going to work or how long this is going to play out, but certainly this curse by Orochimaru is not a cool thing. Anyways, we wind up having then all of a sudden, boom, mysterious figure goes and walks in and is like, oh, now you know how to go and seal away curses, huh, Kakashi? And Kakashi's like, what? Turns is like, do I know you? And of course it's Orochimaru in his you know, his disguise or what have you, and you know, with his the fake face on or whatever, and Kakashi is just like, you know, oh, Orochimaru, and he knows, right? And then you go and you just kind of see these two heavyweights going to face off. And the cool thing about this is that as Orochimaru is going and talking to Kakashi, and Kakashi's talking to him, and he's kind of trying to figure out, like, what's your plan with this? What is your plan of action? Why are you trying to do this, right? As he's doing and saying that, it then goes and shifts back to the fight between Zaku and Shino, and Zaku had actually used a one-armed attack, you know, with his like air blade, and which Shino, it looked like he might have gotten hit by or whatever, but it didn't do enough damage to him to where he had any type of issues with it. But as this fight's going on, you still see like the word bubbles as Orochimaru is talking about. What it basically is that Orochimaru is talking about how you know, he has disposable pawns in this sort of game that he's playing, and in my eyes, you know, obviously I'm thinking he's referring to, like, you know, Zaku, the other Sound Ninja, you know, as well. So as this fight goes and rages on, which I just thought was done very well, all of a sudden Shino's ass goes and is like, and all of a sudden all these like creepy ass bugs start coming out of him and just like going across the floor, you know, and Zaku's like, what the hell, bugs, you know? And Shino goes and he says, yeah, you know, that's so-and-so beetles that basically go and they you know, they get under your skin and everything like that, and they eat your chakra, right? So we got another person that can actually go and can drain or take away your chakra, and since your chakra is essentially your life force, if you drain it too low or run on empty for too long, you can actually die. it's, you know, I just look at it as like sucking the life essence out of you, the energy, just everything that makes you, that makes you be able to move and hit and attack or whatever the case may be. So as these bugs go and start just kind of flooding around, you know, Shino says, listen, you know, you're not going to be able to take me out with one arm. If you try using your left-handed, you know, air blade attack again or whatever on the bugs, then you'll leave yourself open to an assault by me. If you try using it on me, the bugs will wind up using that opportunity to crawl up your back and get to you, right? And, you know, Zaku just... And the whole time this is going on, again, like Orochimaru and Kakashi, their conversation is going on, you know? So it just reminds me of if it was put together in, like, a cool sequence, you know? Like in a movie where, you know, the villain is talking to the hero or vice versa. And there's like this monologue going on, voiceover in the background, while there's actually like things being depicted on the screen. That's what I picture, you know. And then as it goes back and it shows Kakashi and Orochimaru, again, he's just kind of getting to the fact of, hey, listen, we wind up getting, what it all boils down to is that Orochimaru wants something that Kakashi and Sasuke have, and that's the Sharingan. And he says that. He says, that's what I want and this and that. And Kakashi says, why? And he doesn't really give a real legitimate reason, as most villains don't. You know, and Kakashi goes, so basically just because you're just like crazed and hungry for power and you're like this maniacal, evil person, right? And he's just like, yeah, that's about it. So then it goes back to and shows Zaku and the Shino fight. And Zaku's just like, oh, who do you think you're talking to? And all of a sudden he goes and busts out his arm from his sling or his cast or whatever. And even one of his own guys like, oh shit, okay, he actually had use of his other arm. He was just faking it out or whatever, and actually had use of it, trying to go and draw the opponent in, you know. So then he goes to do this, you know, this attack or whatever with, I'm assuming, both arms for his air blade or whatever. And all of a sudden, man, dude, it just looks like, unless I missed something, looks like his freaking arms just came straight off, dude. Here we go. Boom, right there. And then you go and you see in the next panel, and you see everybody like, oh shit, like looking, you know, what on earth? And then you go and you see it looks like his arms just straight up got freaking cut off. And it's cool because then Shino's like, yeah, buddy, while I was talking to you and giving you your options and playing the good guy, my beetles were silently going and creeping up into different points in your body. And then you have to use these different, you know, areas of your body to actually transmit, you know, like the wind throughout to actually be able to do that with like wind shear blade that you have, right? So these things basically were able to cut that off at whatever joint or wherever it was, you know, kind of a choke point. So when we went to do it, the force just went, and it looks like it just blew his freaking arms off. So I don't know if I'm missing something over here, but that's what it looks like, you know? So, and then at the end of it, you just get the Orochimaru face, and he's just like, those boys are disposable. And that's where he kind of was going with that whole thing, is that he has a number of different pawns in play in this deadly game of chess that he's playing. And the thing about it well, what I took from it anyway, is that he understands how to use these different pawns in battle. He knows how to sacrifice them, and ultimately, they're disposable to him, as long as he can get to his goal. And we don't know what that end goal is, but we know the immediate goal and the interest in Sasuke, because that's, of course, who he's interested in and wants, and that's who he originally came in for and told Kakashi, I'm interested in the boy behind you. Obviously, he wants the Sharingan, and he thinks that he's going to be able to, I don't know how, but somehow or another be able to actually take that power, or somehow, you know, gain that power through Sasuke or from Sasuke. So very, very cool stuff. A great chapter. I cannot wait to dive into the next one, and I have to let you go so I can do so. My chapter question for you, brothers and sisters, is, what are your thoughts so far on what really seemed like a very cool tactical fight? So far, this Shino versus Zaku fight is more entertaining than the Sasuke one, in my opinion anyway. But that's just so far, and we'll see, just because it seems like, you know, each one tries to one-up the other one and talking about, better come prepared, and I came prepared, and, you know, and you think that, you know, each time somebody does something, you think that they maybe get the drop on the other one, and obviously they even refer to it. Do you have a backup plan? And, oh yeah, this is the best backup plan, or do you have a backup plan to back up that one? Anyway, what are your thoughts on the fight so far between Zaku and Shino? Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, nation.
Subscribe to my other channels and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram too.